here we are. Friday, March 27th. Time to do a little standings board update. There was how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games again. But I watched 0 of them because we had March Madness going on. I live in Tucson. U of A Wildcats ended up handling the Arkansas Razorbacks to make it to the Elite Eight. So I didn't catch any of this, but 26 out of the 32 teams were in action. So without further ado, let's talk about some scores. First up, we had the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Montreal Canadiens, 2 teams in their division races. Huge game. Canadiens ended up getting the 2-1 victory over the Blue Jackets. So the next game might have something to do with that. Penguins down here trying to get back into that second spot. Played against the Senators, another potential matchup here in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Penguins got a 4-3 shootout victory. So at least the Senators got a point out of it, but Penguins did prevail. Gained 2 points on the Blue Jackets in that race. Then we go over here. We got the Tampa Bay Lightning. Still trying to get into that Atlantic Division number 1 spot. They played against the Kraken, who are over here. They've lost several games in a row, I do believe 4 games in a row. Kraken ended up getting an overtime victory over the Lightning. Much needed win to keep them in the wildcard race. Minnesota Wild taking on the lowly Florida Panthers, the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Panthers, but not their year. Anyway, it wasn't their game either. The Wild won 3-2. Here we go. Stars, one of the best teams in all of hockey. In fact, statistically, the second best team behind their division nemesis, the Colorado Avalanche, taking on the New York Islanders, a team that's desperate for a win, get back into that wild card spot. Well, they got the win. That must have been a hard-fought game. 2-1 victory over the Stars. Flyers and Blackhawks. Flyers are holding on by a thread, guys. They're like 5 or 6 points out of the wild card, but they get a victory over the Chicago Blackhawks, who've been playing okay. Chicago's actually played good teams well, but then lost to like pretty bad teams. I've noticed. Like you'll see, like the Chicago Blackhawks will get a win, and it'll be against like the Oilers or the Vegas Golden Knights or somebody like that, and they lose to like New Jersey. It's really weird. But yeah, the Flyers get that win, 5-1. We got the Blues are hanging on. Barely hanging on. They're like 6, 8 points out of their race too. Sharks desperately need to win. They've lost like 5 or 6 in a row. They lose again. Blues win 2-1 in overtime. Sharks at least get a point out of it, but it's not enough, man. The Sharks have played their worst hockey at the wrong time of the year. The Predators have won 4 or 5 in a row. They were somewhere down here like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Now they're all the way up here in the second wildcard spot. Can't win them all. Ended up losing to the New Jersey Devils, one of the biggest disappointments in the entire NHL, 4-2. So maybe some movement here with the Kraken winning, Predators losing. We'll see. Then we get into Avalanche and the Jets. Avalanche, best team in hockey. Started out super hot, had some lulls in the middle of the road, but they've been playing good hockey again. They played against the Winnipeg Jets. Jets are fighting and clawing their way back into this wild card race here, but the Avalanche would win 3-2 in regulation. Moving on, we got the Utah Mammoth, formerly the Arizona Coyotes, in the top West wildcard spot, playing against the Washington Capitals. Pretty much the last competitive team in the East. Desperately needed to win. They got the win 7-4 in regulation. And we got 3 games in the Pacific Division. The lowly, worthless Pacific Division. Anaheim Ducks, first place, playing against Calgary Flames. Fire sale Calgary Flames with nobody on their roster. Flames win 3-2 in overtime. Flames get a point. Doesn't matter. They're out of it. Moving over here, we have the potential first-round matchup between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Neither one of them are playing excellent hockey now, but none of that division is, so it's what it is. Oilers ended up getting the 4-3 overtime victory over the Golden Knights. And then the Kings. We really want the Kings to overtake the Golden Knights. So if the Golden Knights fall out of that race, they're going to end up over here and out of the playoffs. Kings got the win over the worst team in all of hockey, the Canucks, 4-0. So just for reference, if you think like New York Rangers are a bad team, they're the worst team in the East. They're the worst team in the East by a pretty fair margin. Well, the Vancouver Canucks are 15 points worse than the New York Rangers. So, Canuck fans, y'all deserve this. But anyway, let's check out the standings. We had 13 games, so there might be some movement. Let's get to wild card. Oh yeah, ESPN. Nothing too scientific, but I like doing this because it's fun. And if the 2 or 3 people watch this, then it's cool. I'm out there. All right, we'll start with the Pacific. Got Anaheim, 86 points. Edmonton, 81. Vegas holding on to that. It's a 3-point lead over the LA Kings for that last spot. They got 79. Kings got 76 over here. They're closing the gap, though. Got about 10 games left. Vegas got 9 games left, so there's plenty of time. Plenty of time, guys, for a Vegas collapse. That fan base deserves it. If you can even call them fans. They just hit the ground running, went to 2 cups immediately, won one of them. It's like they don't even know what adversity looks like. Oh, it's about damn time. Let's see here. Central Division, 106 points. They're going to win the President's Trophy, guys. I mean, Dallas was closing the margin for a while. Not anymore. They got a 9-point lead on Dallas, who has 97 points, and they are the second best team in hockey. So a 9-point lead with 10 games left. It's almost written in stone. Colorado had the best year out of any team. They're going to win the President's Trophy. Minnesota, 94 points, one of the best teams in hockey as well. Still comfortably in that 3rd spot. You're almost guaranteed to have a Minnesota-Dallas first-round matchup because everyone's just so far behind them in that division. But Minnesota should be one of the next teams to clinch a playoff spot. So far, the only teams that have actually clinched a playoff spot are these 2, Colorado, Dallas. In the next game or 2, I imagine we're going to start filling up the bracket slowly but surely. But the final day will have wild card implications because we just got some tight races over here. Let's go to the East division leaders. Atlantic, we got Buffalo, 96 points. They got 10 games left. Tampa Bay, 94 points. They have 11 games left. So they could technically pull ahead of Buffalo or at least tie Buffalo for that division lead. Montreal, 90 points. Still about 3 games out of the division lead, but it's not over for them. We got Carolina, also 96 points. They have 11 games left. Pittsburgh just took the lead. So we're going to move that around. Pittsburgh jumps over Columbus for 2nd place. Not a huge change. They're still slated basically to play each other if the playoffs started today, but Pittsburgh would be hosting the series rather than Columbus. 88, 87. And we'll just jump right into the East wild card standings because it's important. 88. New York Islanders jump over. Much needed win. They needed a win. They're going to jump over the Ottawa Senators. Take over that second wild card spot. We like that. I mean, we don't want either of these teams to go without. That includes the Red Wings. But I really want to see that young Islanders team in the potentially in the opening round against the Sabres. I mean, I just think it'd be a really good series. I just want the best hockey possible. So 88, 87, 86, 84. Detroit is like the Eastern Conference version of the San Jose Sharks. They've just fallen off at the worst time of the year. In fact, Philly's kind of closing the gap a little bit. Philly's only 5 points out of a playoff spot. They have 11 games left. So they actually have 2 games more to play than the Islanders. So hypothetically speaking, if they were to win both of those games, both be at 73 games with the Islanders, they'd only be 1 game out. So that's just for reference. Like the Islanders, even though they're 5 points out in the standings, they're very much in the middle of this entire race here. It's going to be really interesting to see when we have, only 8 slots in the East, but we have 12 competitive teams or more. The Capitals are right there too, 81 points. They have played 73 games though, so the sun's kind of setting on the Washington Capitals season. They would likely in their last 9, I would expect them to probably have to get at least a point in every game, or like go 7-2 or 9-0 or something to even have a chance. That would be my expectation from them, just because, with the exception of Detroit, all these teams are playing their best hockey at the right time of the year. Then we get into the teams that are no longer competitive. So, New Jersey passes Toronto. They've also played 2 less games than Toronto. I knew this was coming yesterday when I moved them around, but we like doing this. New Jersey has 76, Toronto has 75, and then Florida has 73, and then the New York Rangers are eliminated from playoff contention with 65. So then we get into the West wildcard standings. Let's see here, 80 points for the Mammoth. We got Nashville still narrowly holding on to their final wildcard spot with 77. They did lose their last game. LA's 1 point back to the wild card. They got 76. Seattle 74. The Jets have 72. But they've also played. Nope, never mind. The Winnipeg Jets have played 72 games. Nashville's also played 72 games, so they're like a natural 5 points out. San Jose keeps losing. They've lost now 6 games in a row. They've only played 70 games. They got 71 points, so they're not that far out. But they need to turn it around like immediately. They cannot continue to stack these losses here in late March if you're trying to make the playoffs. In fact, they're now tied with St. Louis, who, in my opinion, had 0 chance. The other fire sale team traded away their entire team and somehow won a bunch of games after the trade deadline. They're 7-1-2 in their last 10. Probably the best last 10 record there is in all of hockey. Tied with Ottawa, tied with Philly, New Jersey even, 7 wins in the last 10. Montreal and Buffalo, so they're in great company, but they're just dug themselves too deep of a hole, in my opinion, to really be competitive. But they have 71. They're tied with San Jose. Calgary has 68. Chicago has 67. And then Vancouver has 50 points. And they have been eliminated from playoff contention for quite some time. So, see, we'll look at some games for tonight. We had 13 games yesterday, so probably not going to have too many tonight. One primetime game on NHL Network, the Red Wings and the Sabres. That'll be a huge division game. The Sabres have kind of been in a little bit of a lull in their own right. They've lost the last 2 games for sure in overtime, getting points, but man, they're not looking like the team that scrapped the Tampa Bay Lightning a couple weeks ago. But yeah, we'll have the Buffalo Sabres taking on the Red Wings, who desperately need to win. And then a couple of, not even hardly worth tuning in, but you'll have the Blackhawks and the Rangers on ESPN Plus at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard. So, anyway, that's it for me. Friday, March 27th, 2026. It's your standings. Got anywhere between 12 to 9 games left, depending on the team. So the races are going to heat up. Pretty soon we're going to have a bracket up here. We're going to be following. Whoops. Press the button. Oh well. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow.